My name is Harry. I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here. Today is October 24th, 2024. It is 1:04 a.m. So this is the background of my channel. 954 views in the last 48 hours. And this is the front. I sort of started backward. This is what I have to share with you. I have 9 tweets to share with you. I did say I wasn't going to talk about the Australian tour, but the squad bring different little conversation here and there, so I share them with you. This I'm not gonna share. I took it out from the video that I did yesterday, and I'm not sure if anything were to come back and I see more squad talking about it. Maybe I'll go back to yesterday's recording and render that part and make it a video, but it just didn't feel right. I just remove it, and then I'll do another video that's probably on PYTE that's more about Harry. I think he was rated 25 out of 50 hardest men, so the squad talk about it, and there's other little discussion that I saw and I put on the list. It's about 12 tweets, and there's some little politics, US politics. So let's get started with this video that's regarding Australia. There might be in one of these tweets, there might be an article I might read. One of the squad from Australia recommend to read it, so I might read it and share it with you. So let's go on Twitter. So there's this one here. This reads, was epic. There's the laugh here. Australia is not playing with you, Charles. Okay, so this link is pretty much this guy who's talking. I'll share it with you. I think it's slightly longer. Oh no, 120, is it the same?
King Charles is visiting Australia to
same
pretend to care about his subjects so we don't grow a spine and get his flag off ours. The visit is going as expected. Queen Camilla met with sexual violence advocates and pretended to care about the issue while hoping that nobody asked why Prince Andrew was invited to her coronation and why he still lives at the Royal Lodge. Meanwhile, King Sausage Fingers wandered around his colony like a land...
Well, well, I was thinking about her coronation, but it wasn't hers. It was Charles, but Andrew is Charles' brother, so I don't know. Let's just listen, and then right after that I'll go to the next one.
Lord, hoping that his tenants stop complaining about the black mold issue. That's what Charles calls Indigenous people. During his speech to Parliament, King Charles was interrupted by Senator Lidia Thorpe, who demanded that the royal family return the skull and bones of Indigenous people that were stolen from Australia and kept by the British. This elected politician was laughed at by the Queen and then removed from Parliament, a place she has been elected to serve in, by the King's Guard, while half the country of Australia watched this medieval charade and asked themselves, what do these inbred freaks actually do for our country? At least for England, the royals are a tourist attraction that prints money. For Australia, they're just unattractive tourists printed on our money. I think Charles is just jealous of a politician because they got voted into power. The only way royals get power is by making two cousins have sex with each other and praying to God the kid doesn't come out retarded. That's how King Charles can sit in a room full of Tasmanian politicians and still be the most inbred leader there. I'm Lewis Spears. Hit follow. Talk tomorrow.
Okay, so that's pretty much that. Let's go to the next tweet. Oh my god, it's kind of funny. Next one. Okay, crack on. This I shared it on my community board. So police apparently pick up eggs people were about to throw on Charles, I guess. Police have confiscated 2 cartons of eggs amid fears they will be thrown at Queen Camilla. Queen Camilla? You sure about that? Or, well, then again, I don't know. These are the pictures. Wow. Look at the guy's face here. Are these the only group of people that were there to see them? Because one of the issues, this is where it started. One of the issues, there were too many people visit, to go look for them, spectators. First, they are stealing their land. Now they're stealing their eggs. The royal family stole land, and now they stole a poor peasant eggs. He still wanted to make breakfast. I hope they registered the donation at the local NIC. Our council workers can't accept any donation. A few has Charles' name on. Is trial. They weren't hard-boiled, so they didn't pass muster. I tried to tell them they bounce off any husband thieving Jezebel anyway, hide like a vinyl, but we've worked for ages to get rid of the Z and Aussie parlance, so they didn't get it. Okay, it's not fair. I hope they get them back. As we say, booger me, give them back. Okay, the comments, Alright, let's go to the next one. No shoe. Okay, I guess 500 million pounds a year doesn't stretch to comfortable footwear, poor woman. Now just imagine for a second if it was Meghan, barefooted and walking in front of Harry. The bashing she would have taken OMG will be 2030 and they will still be writing about it on how unroyal she is. But what was she wearing that she can't walk with it? Wow. Context, just as Kate Middleton is a liar, inherited the Princess of Wales title from Camilla consort with abuser. Kate Middleton is racist, will inherit Queen consort from Camilla as tacky. Is this the royal mystic? Sladen, she is no queen. She is in a role beyond her pay grade. You can teach old sore foot new tricks. Schedule or MJ, could you imagine Queen Elizabeth ever doing that? Jeez, trashy regardless of who does it. Okay, Camilla reminds me of the Beverly Hillbillies. Lots of money, not much class. Anyway, so final crowd at Opera House is much smaller than I'd expected. Majority was always going to be tourists and passers-by, but I still thought the final numbers would be bigger than this. Not even a tenth of a crowd Princess Diana drew at same venue. Okay, so there's Princess Diana here, and this is the crowd that came to see her. Alright, so there's me here. Oh, he wanted horse. A horse he got, but the majority of the people were not about that horse. LOL. I love that for him. I hope Harry and Meghan go there for Paddy's sake and compare a crowd size. Wow, this is the crowd that they bring. It's still this. Well, then again, when you look at the first one, when you look at this, it's pretty much the same angle. The same angle. This is, yep, same angle. Same exact angle. Wow. Princess Diana was somewhere here. Wow, wow, wow. Look at all the back here. Okay, what did this person say here? Gosh, that's not a huge crowd at all compared to the past event. Today's crowd, there it is here. LOLs, thanks for sharing. There's that. It's like going to a Trump rally. Poor Chuck, he needs Harry's size crowd. The irrelevance of Charles and horse is shocking. There's that, comma. Watching on live TV now, the two are not comparable. We'll post some clips from local news later. Okay, I blacked this person here. Thanks for sharing. Pleasure. This is something else. Okay, I don't want to read all of this. So while I was editing this part and I said I wasn't gonna read it, but I read it on my screen and I think it's something I should share with you. So I went back. Let's see here. And then I'll go back to the original recording. Okay, 924, former Tatler writer speaks on the record that the Palaces were briefing against the Sussexes and gives her thought on how the success of their Australian tour was received by the Palace. So she left a link here. Is that one of her articles? All right. Oh my god, that's a long read. That link, I will leave this in the description for you guys. That would be a completely different video. So these are comments. Let's see here. Let's go back. I will read what was on Twitter. What is that? How long is that? Okay. Definitely, I will leave this in the description. It's 55 minutes. So that's like a different video. Let's see here. But I'll read that one though. Alright, a few weeks ago, I read a commentary in The Independent on the health update video from Catherine, Princess of Wales. What started as an inner dialogue of question I like to ask the author turned into what if I asked the author. So I reached out to Anna Pasternak, and much to my delight, she replied and we set up a time to chat. This is a result of our conversation, which covers everything from the unspoken contracts between the British royal family and the British media, who gave Daily Mail the tip-off about the Tatler settlement, the contract between the British royal family and the British media, what made her change her mind about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the future of the monarchy, and why she is so passionate about rehabilitating Wallis Simpson for the history book. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I enjoy having it with Anna. To read more about Anna Pasternak's writing, visit. So there's a link here. This, what I'm reading right now, the link will be in the description. Okay, books or so reference in the conversation to my turnip tea off timeline. You can find that piece here, another link within that. Huge thank you to my editor, producer of this project, Brian Coburn. If you're looking for any type of audio or video production, post-production, etc., shoot him an email at Brian. There's the email address. Okay, so let's focus on this. Alright. Okay, denied. Alright, denied. But when I watched the Netflix documentary about, I was asked to review it for a newspaper. And I was sitting here, I think it dropped at 8 o'clock in the morning or something. Okay, so this is the timestamp from that video that I say is like 55 minutes, I'm assuming. So you guys could go and listen to the entire thing. Sitting with my boiled egg, watching television, and that just seemed such a fun job. And I was so struck, I thought this man is telling the truth. He's absolutely right that they were briefed against. He's absolutely right that the phone were hacked and that there was an agenda that the spotlight had to be on Charles and Camilla. They just went to, what's that place? Australia, and the spotlight was on them. And look how she behaved, taking off her shoes, then even gave eye contacts when the people were shaking her hand. So these are small little things you need to do to have people have interest on you. But you go over there, you want them to show up, but you're not giving any eye contact. And when that lady was, Lidia Thorpe, I think her name is, was protesting, you're laughing. Years prior, she went to Canada when the originals, I don't know how did they call them. In the US, they call them Native American. So when the native were singing in front of her in Canada, she was laughing with Charles. So small little things add up to become big things. So people don't have any respect for people like that. All right, so let's continue at the 4:58 mark. And then William and Kate, and he and Meghan were too popular after their Australia tour, and they have to be moved aside. And it all rhymes too true to me. Now, when I try to express that or write that in the British press, those pieces did not get through. They don't want to hear that from me. At 5:13 mark, it absolutely. And I just thought, oh my God, I'm just some sort of, nobody hack who can get my voice out there. What must it be like for them? And the thing that really infuriated me was that I spoke to members of the Royal Voda, old colleagues. I mean, come on a minute. He's telling the truth about, and then that's it. So this will be, where is it? Damn. Okay, but I'll put the link. You guys could subscribe to get, her pieces. And I did read that as well, so you guys could go and check all of that. All right, so that was an audio thing. Let me see something. I'm closing it. Go back to that and click this. Let's see if it popped up again. This is the part here. It's 55 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so she had the conversation with this person. I'll leave the link. You guys could listen to it, and there's a lot of comments below it, a lot. All right, so while I was editing and I saw the thing, and I was like, oh, they're talking about Harry and this and that, so that's why I came back to that. So now back to Twitter, where I'll pick up somewhere over here. Okay, so that's it. Okay, Kamala is not even the 10th of Diana. Glad to hear the total hypocrisy of the entitled and her concubine. Sydney was majority Australian born back then. It's now majority foreign born. We can't expect immigrants to care about our culture. That elected official. All right, let's go to the next one. There's an article she shared I would like to read. It sort of explains about the Aborigines. Okay, what is this? Okay, the end of the British Empire. Harry and Meghan abandoned that sinking ship at the right time. Good luck to William and the real world. So why did I put it here? Oh, so whenever people need to understand why Harry and Meghan left. Okay, I think this is the reason I put that it was William who kicked them out. No matter which way you put it, it is a fact. Okay, Harry and Meghan wanted to help them because they saw how bad they were, but William kicked them out. Thank God for that. Okay, so there's this. I've always shared that. Right, yes. Since the end of the colonial empire abolished the monarchy, the king has work to do in a changing world, but the empire ended some time ago. BRICS is an interesting development, but not likely to stand the test of time. That's something that I saw earlier. It has to do with different countries, Russia, South Africa, Cuba, some other countries regarding BRICS. It's very interesting. I would like to know more about it. Okay, it's about time too. They will hang on desperately for as long as possible. It's inevitable in the long run, but the entourage will want to keep to. Okay, it's inevitable in the long run, but the entourage will want to keep it running. Too many snouts are still in the truck. Okay, are still in the through. Some group wanted to stay. Okay, when you look what's happening in the US, okay, there's the same group as well with the GOP, the Trump, and all of that. They want this type of things remain because they want to control stuff. But the people, okay, they don't have a grasp of things. It's hard to explain. I don't want to go in politics here until I get to the politics aspect of that. So I sort of understand this person here. Let's be honest, it's not a big surprise. It is not like within neutrals. People said this every year, and yet that is true. They're hanging on by a string. Because when you look at, for instance, when the Tories were in power in the UK, they did everything. They secure. When you look at certain things that happen, they secure the institution to remain. This is one of the things. I'm trying not to talk about politics, but sometime when I'm aware of certain things, it popped up. But they secure their existence even though the people don't like it. But when you look at almost every politician, they got them by a grip somehow. It's up to the people, all right? At the end of the day, it's up to the people. Old news, that family refused to modernize, got caught up in their own fragile ego. Again, I've said this before. When you look at their position, all right, the people are willing to give them money for doing absolutely nothing. All right, they pretend for as long as they could, just like this. One of the comments here, people said this every year, and yet they're still there, which is true. But the people never manage to do something to get rid of them. You always hear this thing keep on happening and happening. So again, it goes back to the people. All right, the minute he made his Mistress Queen, everything went downhill, and with the help of the toxic British media and Prince Andrew, he should have listened to his mother. Okay, let's hope so. We love to see it. The monarchy is finished. It died some time ago, but they are still making the corpses dance. That's a way of putting it. That is true. And then you got William, which is pretty much what the papers, the medias, the people who wants things to be the way they are have their man. It's William. William is their man. But we shall see. We shall see. Next one. This one I saw, and I think there was a reason that I put it. I think it had to do with the US. Okay, S&P's Stephen Flynn asked if Angela Rayner will applaud the brave Labour staff members who campaigned against Donald Trump. Okay, maybe that was why. Rayner says people can do what they want to do in their own time and with their own money. True. And then you have Bojo and what's the other one? Liz and a couple other people in the UK come to support for Trump. I think that was the only thing that I put it. Because the UK, the establishment in the UK want Trump to win. Okay, keep campaigning Trump gonna win. Okay, well, alright then. If he cheat, he probably will. But let me focus on the video and then go to the next one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In today's spirit of cross-party working, will the Deputy Prime Minister join me in applauding the brave Labour staff members who've travelled across the Atlantic to campaign against Donald Trump?
Mr. Speaker, I'm loving this loving. I don't often get it. But I say to the honourable gentleman is that people in their own time often go and campaign, and that's what we've seen. It happens in all political parties. People go and campaign and they do what they want to do in their own time with their own money.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And then when you think at what she says as well, when you see Bojo, who is not in position right now, Liz, who's not in position right now, and who were the other ones? One is an influencer. What's his name? I'll put the picture of those who came from the UK to the RNC. All right. So, Farage is just elected. So she should have mentioned Farage. Farage just got elected. Then again, she just said they do it at their own time. So he was at his own time. So they came over there to the US to the RNC for support for Trump. So that's that. Let's go to the next one. And I think the UK should just stay out of the US business. In a way, the politician that is. Okay, next tweet. The end of the British Empire, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and King Charles III head to the Commonwealth Summit to talk climate change and growth. Not all their friends will be there. But a glance at this year's guest list highlights how the British monarch's convening power is not what it was. The leaders of India, South Africa, Sri Lanka, and even Canada will not be in attendance. Okay, there's that. So this is the last one, and I believe this is the article regarding Aboriginal. Let's see here. She said read it, and I want to know more about them. Okay. A must-read article link. And by the way, this is my last tweet for this for the list that I have. Okay, so there's me here responding to her. Thanks, I will read it. Good work, by the way, this week. You did well. Because she went on the ground to show us pictures of what was going on with the crowds and all of that. Okay, so that's what I was sort of thanking her for. So she recommended for me to read it. Not just me, just in general. So I want to look into it. That's from The Guardian. How much it is. It's not that long. Let's see here. I hope it explains a little bit more. Okay, if Australians knew the whole truth about Indigenous history, Lidia Thorpe's royal outburst would not have been a shock. Resistance to colonization has rarely been polite. The senator asked questions Aboriginal people are still waiting after 2 centuries to get the answer to. Okay, is that... Let's listen.
You launched your Etsy shop but have super low sales.
I'm not sure. I had paused when the commercial went and I went on and said a couple things and I realized it's not recording. So let's play the video just in case I didn't record it. Okay, let's pause this. Lidia Thorpe is an Australian federal senator who has a history of activism and protest for progressive causes and Indigenous rights.
Their Majesties will now make their way through the hall.
Less than a minute after Thorpe's outburst, King Charles and Queen Camilla made their way from the Parliament reception.
Thank you very much.
Oh, God help us. I said what I said before, but it wasn't recorded. Lidia Thorpe is not one to adhere to respectability politics. She may work in the major house of respectability politics, but as she has been clear from the time she set foot in any parliamentary building, she grew up working class, came from a background of activist politics, and is incredibly proud of these humble yet powerful roots. The screeching, therefore, about the fact that Thorpe's brand of activism infiltrate a solemn function to honor King Charles is not only ridiculous, it is nonsensical. Several column inches of moralizing cease and desist tribe has been allowed to flood the discourse, ironically penned by many who claim to be free speech warriors. Peter Dutton has called for Senator Thorpe's resignation again, while essentially claiming she is a hypocrite for being in Parliament pocketing the paycheck when she doesn't believe in the system. Several Aboriginal figureheads have also come out to join in condemnation. Really? Okay, if I were, like so many others, to believe what it is... Let's pause this. Okay, let's move it from the screen. Okay, if I were, like so many others, to believe what it is I have heard and seen since Thorpe took to the floor, I would be convinced she had broken through the barricade, thrown open the door, stormed to the front, and then proceeding to call His Majesty everything under the sun. I certainly wouldn't get the impression that she, as an Australian senator, attend an event she had been duly invited to, engage in an act of peaceful resistance by turning her back as God Save the King play, and then proceed to yell a few hard truths about the crown and the history of this country. Yet, that's precisely what she did. Where was the lie in stating that, in the name of colonization, Aboriginal lands remain and children have been stolen? Wow, that there are no treaty. Okay, so she's not telling any lie. That there had not been an agreement with First People to be a part of the empire. That our sovereignty remained to this day. And cultural institutions across the UK and Europe are many Aboriginal human remains stolen from this country. In many instances, these remains were used by scientists, anthropologists, and eugenists to prove Aboriginal inferiority and justify colonization. It's everywhere they go, they do the same thing. They have no respect for human life of other cultures. Some concerted community efforts have seen the repatriations of remains, but there were so many taking and there is so far to go. Since the beginning of colonization, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have consistently engaged in acts of resistance, contrary to the idea that Thorpe rudeness was a generational thing that would not have happened in previous decades of activism. This resistance was not all polite. There was nothing polite about palmistry or raid and guerrilla war tactic. There was nothing polite about the freedom riders fighting for Aboriginal kids to have access to public pools and highlight apartheid and regional New South Wales. So these are things that happened back then. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere they go. South Africa and all of that. Put people in jail and all of that. Okay, sticking a beach umbrella in the drawer of an old Parliament House and declare the area the Aboriginal tent embassy wasn't polite. I don't remember the first rally I attended as a kid, the convergence of the opening of a new Parliament House being polite as Aboriginal people march chanting land rights now by Sentinel BS. Working within the system rather than taking this action is also necessary. Mabo may have been more polite in his tactics, but he still used the imposed Australian legal system to dismember one of Australia's longest standing legal lies. When Thorpe undertook her mandatory oath of office, there was nothing polite about her being censored by the speaker because she inserted colonizing before Queen and then retook the entire thing in a mocking tone full of purposeful mispronunciation to highlight the spectacle. This is their land. Last year, Australia showed how unengaged and racist this country remained by refusing to insert an Indigenous advisory voice into a constitution that still contained racist passages. Yet, fast forward 12 months, and we are supposed to be bowing and scraping at the figurehead whose institution this land was claimed in the name of, while not showing up the country that cannot even grant us a tokenistic gesture. The idea of this is frankly absurd. It's simple. The Crown remains the figurehead of British colonization and Indigenous dispossession, as the current hat wearer, Charles III, is the representative of Australia's subservient of the Commonwealth and the original crime of the false terra nullius declaration. This is something, I don't have time to read, but look like something I should read. I'll put the link of this article. Okay, so you guys, there's sub links you guys could go and check. To clear the way for this to occur, challenging royal authority has a long and proud history in the Indigenous community, and perhaps if Australians engage in actual truth-telling, such as what the Albanese government committed to when promising to implement the Uluru Statement in full, hearing this truth will not come as such a shock. For what it's worth, I was informed by an older Aboriginal person about Thorpe's action. They had been watching the news footage live and rang to tell me immediately. There was no shame in their voice, just pride. Pride that Thorpe had seized the opportunity, asked some questions so many Aboriginal people are still waiting after 2 centuries. To get the answer to, and pride that the Auslan interpreters saw fit to continue relaying Thorpe's message to the deaf community of Australia. Yeah, they don't care. They're in power. If the role was reversed, I'm sure they would have done the same thing as she did. Okay, I share this pride, and if my social media today is any indication to do so, many other... Okay... I share this pride, and if social media today is any indication, so do so many other Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islander people, particularly those who have staged protests throughout the entirety of the royal visit that the media has barely seen fit to cover. Okay, there were some I share with you where the squaddy went and talked to the lady. Okay, throughout the entirety of the royal visit that the media has barely seen fit to cover. If the country really does want this to change, perhaps it's time they engage with the points raised by Thorpe and worked to change them. Okay, Celeste Little is a... Okay, Aurenet. Okay, I think I pronounced it wrong. Woman living in Melbourne. She is a freelance writer, social commentator, and activist. Little was a Green candidate for the seat of Cooper in 2022 federal election. She left the party in February 2023. Okay, it's just a sensible look. If you see how Harry is moving forward, since he left the institution, well, they kick him out. This needs to be known. They kick him out, and him moving forward on his own. You see how he showed respect to other countries, other other countries and other cultures. That's the word I was looking for. Other cultures. But these people show none of that. And when you look at some of the thing I cover when before the election, was it July 4 election in the UK, you see how they're trying to protect their land because they know they have done some really bad things outside of their land. And this is why they don't want other people to come. Not only they're racist, but they know what they have done outside of their land. They don't want these people to come in to establish and all of that. So that's that. Let's leave this alone. The link of this article will be in the description. Okay, so that's that. I will do another video. It will be on PYTE and possibly politics. I will come back to this channel to cover it. So that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.